right, welcome back, YouTube. So today we have something very important to talk about. It's pretty much me elaborating more on a topic that I thought was going to happen somewhere around 2020 when I saw that the total crypto market cap went above $4 trillion, and it looks like it's coming true. We haven't quite got there yet, but I want to just kind of put this out there because I believe it's going to happen. And I'm talking about something similar to the S&P 500, but just for crypto. And it's really because the crypto market is what I believe, for lack of better words, is showing up the stock market. And this is forcing institutions to have involvement. You'll see a lot of backtracking. You'll see things like JP Morgan, like in 2017, 2018, calling Bitcoin like a scam and saying that they should, pretty much get rid of it. The government shouldn't have any part in it. They shouldn't be considered an investment or security. Meanwhile, they filed for a trademark on a wallet a few years ago. So they're literally preparing the roadmap for the company to actually take a position in crypto and actually offer it as part of their services. And maybe perhaps, two things can be true at one time. So perhaps maybe he actually does feel this way. Perhaps these companies don't like crypto, Bitcoin, and all these huge market caps that are coming into the area because they do compete with the stock market. We're going to talk about some of the gains here in 2023 in a moment. But, it's kind of like asking a cab driver, how does he feel about Uber, right? How do you feel about asking hotels how they feel about Airbnb? So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt when you're getting certain information, because a lot of times the information is just a conflict of interest. So what I mean by crypto S&P 500, what I mean is the gains that we're seeing here, if they go unchecked and if the institutions don't have exposure to the crypto market, you're probably going to see a vacuum of funds from the stock market to the crypto market, and they can't have that, right? And the biggest thing is the biggest notion was that crypto was going to be decentralized and not have that institutional presence, because we know a lot of the manipulation that goes on in the stock market, whether that be through shorting, through dark pooling, through the options, how they can push assets up and down. If they have their petty wars, how the emotional trading. And I'm saying that crypto is not flawed, but the institutional presence has not been as great as what I believe is about to come. And I think that a lot of the bankruptcies and a lot of the scams over the last couple of years have kind of opened the door for this push to have regulation in the crypto market and institutions to kind of come in and say, okay, well, we're going to back it by the biggest hedge fund in the world, BlackRock. We're going to come in there and have an ETF. And I'm not saying crypto doesn't need regulation, because I do believe it does need some form of regulation. I don't like if you can create a coin or have a coin, I can make a baby Bitcoin or something like that if I want to. And it just really it takes advantage of ignorance in the market and naiveness, and ultimately pulls liquidity, and it also ultimately hurts the reputation of the market. So obviously we do need some form of regulation, but I believe that they're opening the door to have this competition here to figure out how can they either have a say-so as far as the price, whether that being them becoming majority owners and dumping the price whenever they feel like it. If it's becoming too attractive, something similar to what we've seen with gold and, fractional reserve, having paper notes instead of people actually having the actual gold in their possession, selling the gold 10 times, like fractional reserve banking, and ultimately just not making it as attractive as an asset as what it should be. Because if you take that example and compare it to something like crypto, we know what gold should be worth if we're considering the amount of money we've printed back then, price versus value. So the question is that the target for them to do something similar with crypto? But let's take a look here at the returns. And I want to talk about how the crypto market has showed up, the stock market in 2023 alone, right? So the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ 100, QQQ, 52%. S&P 500, SPY, 24%. Gold, 11%. REITs, VNQ, 9%. Emerging markets, VWO, 6%. Cash, 4.7%. Crude oil, -7%. Small caps, 12%, right? This is as of December 14th. Crypto, BTC alone, 156%. Ethereum, ETH, 52%. Dogecoin, 41%. So you have the main two and quote unquote a meme coin outperforming pretty much the vast majority of the market, outperforming SPY literally almost double what SPY is doing. We're talking about the top 500 companies here, including the Magnificent Seven, and you have crypto, just a couple of them outperforming the market. What is that going to do long term if that goes unchecked by institutional investors, by institutions, if that goes unchecked? Right? Imagine saying, trying to pitch a fund and saying, "Hey, invest your money in, S&P 500. Get your average of 10%, quote unquote," and then you have things like crypto and stuff doing 50%, 60%, in a singular year. It's going to make it less attractive, and I believe this is forcing them to have that exposure in the market. So I believe that we're going to see probably some similar funds and ETFs, and right now they're just kind of going to blend Bitcoin. I believe it's kind of going to be the start of that. They're going to open that door and they're going to blend Bitcoin into their portfolio to have some type of crypto performance, crypto allocation. And I believe ultimately what we're headed toward is a crypto fund, right? For the people, probably the like millennials and like Gen Z and stuff like that are coming on, you're going to see something like a crypto fund where they're going to put together probably maybe not top 500, maybe top 100, something like that, of the crypto. And it'll do the same thing, right? If it underperforms, they'll remove it, they'll replace it with something else, but it'll be there and it'll have that allocation so that people can have an actual crypto fund. And these institutions are going to be able to eat off of that and not get completely blown out of the water by the returns crypto is giving compared to the funds that they're selling. The biggest thing I want you guys to remember is you don't have to invest in an ETF to own crypto, right? I know that a lot of people, we've had a change of heart as a community. A few years ago, everyone was like, "Hey, decentralization, the markets are corrupt. It's all a scam," and stuff like that. And now we're seeing this change of heart just because we want the capital for institutions to kind of come into the market. So we're kind of saying, "Hey, this is a good thing, right? If the institutions are involved, because, we want them to moon the coins that we're in," right? So we have to kind of keep that in mind, that if the institutions are coming into the market, they're not coming in to moon your coin or to make you rich. They're coming in for their own personal reasons, whether that be profit or control or a combination of both. So we have to kind of keep that in mind and keep in mind what the purpose of crypto is. Why was Bitcoin created? If you're talking about decentralization, the purpose is to have that decentralized alternative, and not just to say, okay, well, to turn it back over and say, hey, we just want to be rich at any cost. And, if that means, hey, giving up, just rolling over and saying, hey, invest inside of the coins and have majority of control in the coins. And that way, if you say we don't want, Bitcoin, for example, as an example, we don't want Bitcoin above 100,000, and every time it goes to 100,000, they have majority, they dump it, flush the investors out, buy low again, and just repeat the process. This is something similar, I believe, is going on with gold. But ultimately, we're going to see, but I do believe that we're going to see this crypto fund coming. And I think that this is going to be very important for us to kind of keep our eyes on and make sure that we're paying attention to what's going on at the SEC, how things are regulated as securities, and new laws that are coming out as far as crypto, how to buy them, where to buy them, what they're saying about wallets, what's illegal, what's not, as far as for trading, where can we spend the coins. These are all things that we're going to have to kind of pay attention to, because if the goal is to control, they're going to have to kind of tighten the, put a bottleneck on where to buy the crypto, and ultimately spending the crypto, right? Because if they say that it's a security, it has to be regulated, and they start blacklisting businesses and saying, hey, you can't accept this crypto, or it has to be exchanged into Fed dollar and all this kind of stuff, they're ultimately going to make the institutions, whether that be, BlackRock or Vanguard, or whatever, whoever comes into the market, JP Morgan, and ultimately make them the largest buyers of these assets, and make it where you have to go through them for the most part, or at least they're controlling the majority of the volume. And that's kind of where you get the control from, right? That's kind of what front running is in the stock market, when you have to go through the market maker in order to make these exchanges, or at least the market maker is responsible for the majority of these exchanges that happen on the marketplace. Then they're able to kind of front run the asset, take positions, and they get ultimately put into a position where they never lose, because they know what's coming before it happens, because they can see the orders, because they're processing the majority of them, right? So this is something that we have to kind of keep an eye on. I do believe we're headed in that direction. I think that ultimately this is them just maneuvering and pivoting to the market. I think 4 trillion market cap was just the beginning. I think we're going to hit 10 trillion this next bull run. And I think that they kind of see the writing on the wall as well. So they're taking positions to have exposure in there. And whether or not we get this ETF approved in the next few days is irrelevant. I think that ultimately it's going to happen. I think ultimately a lot of things I said in this video is going to happen. I think it's just up to us to actually make sure that we're monitoring this and making sure that we are taking the steps necessary to not have turn the crypto market into a stock market junior, basically. So with that being said, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. And I look forward to hearing from all of you. If you want more, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be breaking down the stock market, the crypto market, dissecting things, going in there, providing that information for all of you guys to learn and to make more educated decisions with your investment. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, thank you guys for 60K. We just hit 60K, I think, last night. So, well, this morning, roughly. So I thank you guys for that. We're on the road, less than 40,000 to 100. I think that that's doable for us this year. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys, all the new subscribers. Please continue to share your thoughts and share the video, like the videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.